the choice is in your hand. Okay, let's just click the open collab. It's taking a little bit of time. Probably, yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, so this is the environment where we'll be uh, doing all our good stuff here for data science. Excuse this pop-up screen here. Yeah, but what you see on the screen here, this is the environment that we're going to use uh, to do data analysis, everything there. In the meantime, before you can even start working on building your project, you need to go to your GitHub account and create a repo there. You need to go to your GitHub and create a repo for your for the project that you'll be working on. My network is actually a bit slow. It means I just need to go straight to the point. Uh, I can just go and access your GitHub account to create a repo. Uh, let's go to the new repo here. I'm using the dark mode on my side. You may find that your GitHub is appearing in white. There's no difference. It's just the issue of colors there and there. So yeah. So maybe is there anyone seeing something? Mm, okay, cool. Yeah, on the GitHub, you go and create a new repo. It will depend on the name of your account. So in this case, we can actually come up with a new name for our repo. We can call it maybe the name of our project, right? Let's just say I'm a piano because it's actually what is trending currently, or maybe Springboks, whatever project we might dive into. Let's just select the Amapiano one, or maybe the Springbok. It's fine. You just say Amapiano, a music, or Amapiano genre data analysis. So yeah, Amapiano music, or let me just say Amapiano data analysis. Maybe we can call our name of the name of our project. So in the description, we just have to describe it. They showed you on the first class of our master class there. I believe you saw it there on, was it Tuesday there? Yeah, we can actually describe and add a README file to the repo. Um, okay, so our repo is fine here. So that is the repo for our project. It's called Amapiano Data Analysis. And so in Amapiano Data Analysis, we are actually going to analyze the data there for Amapiano music, and specifically for South Africa. We can analyze any type of data. You can go all out, analyze the data in the international space, on the African space, on the national space, whatever you may analyze it. But maybe because I mean, for this masterclass, right, we're going to just select the data for South Africa because South African data is more relevant to us. We are close to it. So yeah, let's go back to after creating our repo here. Let's go back to the Google Colab. On Google Colab, you'll go to your file here. You click, you select new notebook. New notebook. I don't know. It's a lot of time. It's consuming a lot of time, but it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, after creating a new notebook here, uh, firstly you need to name your project here. We can just call it Amapiano Music. Amapiano Piano Music there. Music data. It's fine. Amapiano Music. Then on your notebook, or this environment, there are certain commands which you can literally use here. We have the file tab where you can work around in terms of creating the new notebook, uploading the notebook, opening the notebook, saving your whatever project that you'll be working on in the drive or GitHub. You understand? You can also do some quite number of stuff here, even download the notebook. Have the edit, have the view, the inserting the runtime, the tools. So the environment is actually straightforward. But our main focus on the environment will be utilizing this section here, which is called the cell section. That's what we'll be doing our programming stuff there. So it's we're going to utilize these cells here. So the first thing first that we need to do when you are a data scientist or an analyst, you need to install the libraries. Yes, that no matter what type of a problem you are given on board, you need to install the library. And the first library you need to install is called numerical or NumPy. It's called numerical Python. So the NumPy, let me go back to the slides here. These are the most important libraries that you need to install. The NumPy is for numerical computations. If you want to do some mathematics, you understand? If you want to do your what do you call it? Your addition, multiplication, you understand? All if you want to apply all those math formulas, they are stored under the library called the NumPy. So without this numerical computation, if you want to do data analysis, it might even be difficult if you don't have this library installed. You need to another library we need to install is called pandas. Pandas there for data manipulation and analysis. Data manipulation, that's what we'll be manipulating our data. Then we have the SciPy, which is scientific Python. We call it scientific Python. It's for scientific and technical competition. If you want to do if you want to apply the science formulas, you'll be using the SciPy package or library. Then we have the Matplotlib. Matplotlib is for plotting. You see those graphs there, the histogram, distribution graphs, all type of graphs are actually under this package called Matplotlib. Then we have the Seaborn is for enhancing the Matplotlib. Seaborn is also used somehow even for web scraping, but web scraping is beautiful, so it's fine. Then we have the scikit-learn. Scikit-learn is for machine learning and doing predictive analysis. Then lastly, we have Plotly. Plotly is for building dashboards. So remember, during the hackathon, they might give you the data, or they might say, come up with the data, or they will give you a problem statement, then you need to come up with your own dummy data. So you need to ensure that before you do everything there, you have installed all these libraries. So let's go to our project here, and we need to install the library. So for us to install the library, we need to we need to run this command or run this. So go to say pip install numpy. NumPy. Then thereafter, you're going to run your cell there. It's taking a little bit of time. The next one. Then after installing the NumPy, you also need to install the pandas. Install panda. So because on my system it's already installed. If it's not installed on your system, you can install it using that command, the pip install numpy. Also pip install pandas. Let's install the pandas. 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 After pandas, you can install the SciPy. Pip install SciPy. Then thereafter, the other library that you can install is Matplotlib, right? Of NumPy pandas set how installed the Matplotlib. Yeah, we need to install the Matplotlib. So we're gonna say pip install add plot library. Yeah. Then you're gonna run the cell. So don't be surprised when you see this thing says requirements already satisfied because the package have already been installed on my online collab online systems already installed. So yeah. Uh, what else should we install here? We need to install the circuit LAN. Okay, cool. Install the circuit LAN. We install circuit and the set. Yeah, for now, let's use this enable edit test date. So after installing these packages or libraries, the project that we will work on is called the Amapiano Music, where we're going to create a dummy data. A dummy data means we'll use whatever that we have on board, or maybe the types of artists that we have, or the kind of artists that we have already that are trending, or the type of music that is trending currently in the country. So we can utilize that type of a data. So the name of our project will be Amapiano Music, and we'll be analyzing the music. And yeah, in terms of analyzing the music, we can also include the names of the artists, the names of the songs, the maybe the days that were released, the popularity scores. You understand? So we'll just use something that is actually relevant to us today. Yeah, even during the hackathon, they might give you data that is maybe public, maybe that is related to government policies. You can utilize it as well. Even in the private, related to business, you can utilize that type of a data. It's still fun. So now, the first thing first that we're going to do, we have to create what we call a dummy data on our end. You can import it. There are many ways of which you can import data. You can import your CSV files. You can import your Excel data. But the most important thing is after importing that data, you need to ensure that it is added to what we call a data frame. And after adding that data to a data frame, you have to convert it to CSV file. So it's still fine. So let's do the important stuff here, right? The first line when you want to work with data, want to create data, we need to say import pandas. We need to say import pandas as PD, and also import the numpy as and p, right? We just imported this. It's fine. We're going to run the cell. Then on the next line of the cell, we need to define what we call what or whatever that we want in our data set, right? The number of records. It will depend on the records that we need to have. We can maybe have 100 records, we can have 50 records, we can have 10 records. So in this case, we'll just have the number of records. Maybe let's just say 60. It's still fine. You can just have the number of records. We give it to 60. Let's just give it 100. In fact. So we're going to define the records. So it will be 100. Then we're gonna run the cell. Then thereafter, we have to create columns. We call them columns, right? We need to create columns because we're creating a dummy data here. So the first column that we're gonna have, right? Let me just put it in this way. Let me comment on it and say we're going to have these columns here because we're analyzing the Amapiano Basic. We're gonna need the artist column. We're gonna need the artist names. Uh, we're gonna need the names of the songs, song title. We're gonna need the release date and the popularity scores. We might use the popularity scores. Yeah, popularity scores. So that's what we're going to do. So we need to create these columns here or create a list of these columns. So in this case, we'll just say artist, right? And this is how you create column or in data science. So it will be artists. Then from there, uh, to make this class more engaging, if possible, right? Is it possible for you guys to actually try to uh, name the artists that you can actually add here, the artists that are actually trending in terms of music, yeah, just to make this session more engaging instead of just being one what do you call one man show. So yeah, is it possible to do that? Or let me just see what is the current trending Amapiano artist right now in the country, because we need to create these columns. I've opened the chats. I can look at the chats. You can type them. Just give me maybe 5 or 10 of them. Okay. I see one says Gabza. Gabza the Small. So okay, our first artist is going to be Gabza the Small. Gabza the Small. Then our second artist is Small. Ventura. Okay, I see Ventura. Let's go, guys. Let's tap the artist there. 10 artists. It's fine. Uh, Someone says the video. Okay. Video. Can I see you? I see you. Or secretary. I see secretary there. Secretary. We have Anchor Waffles. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 now. Let's go to 10. Let's go to 10. Uh, let's list them. Who else do you have? Okay, it's fine. Okay. Okay, DJ Maporisa. Yeah, DJ Maporisa. Togo. We're on 8 now. Jala Taxi. Let's go. I guys love piano. Jala Taxi. Okay. Last artist. Uh, yeah, that's okay. See Melon Sleaze. Yeah, you know, and Sleazy. That's Melon Sleazy. That would be the last artist, the last list of the artists, right? That we have here. So immediately after, so yeah, we're done on the column for the artist. Let's create another. Let me do this. Let's create another column of which we need to name the the songs according to the list of these artists, right? So they should, yeah, like under Kabza Small, we should name the current song that is trending. So we can just call it song title. Uh, then from just so for Kabza, Let's name the songs, guys. Let's name the songs. Those are the small songs that is. Those are the small song that is currently trending. Uh, you can type in the chat. There's no need for you to unmute. Just type in the chat. I'm looking at the screen here. For the chat. What's the trending song? Kusela. Is it Kusela? Okay. And cover that's more is Kusela. Then the Tudor song that's trending. Let's go, guys. Uh, Abenda. Okay. Abenda. Then Davido. Let's go. Davido. Unavailable. Okay. What's the name? Unavailable. Okay. Tyler, I see you. Okay. Okay. Then Cetril. Cetril. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Creating the date. Um, what's the trending song for Cetril? Someone mentioned Cetril there, but I can't see the name of the song for Cetril. Impumelelo. Okay. Then Uncle Waffles. Akande. Okay. DJ Mapolisa. Song for DJ Mapolisa is trending. Is it Angelina or Angelina? Nick. Oh, wait. Okay, let me take Imaliko. Imaliko. Let me take Imaliko, not Mapolisa. Then let's go to the Bobo. Trending song. Yes. Okay. Hello, Takzim. We can. Then Melon Sleazy. In Mandilento. It's Melon Sleazy. Okay. In okay, it's fine. Then the next column that we need to create, it's a release date for these songs. I don't know what we do in this case. We can probably just create something on the release date, right? We can just because these are the current these are the current music or the current artists that are trending. So I think we can just take the release date from maybe somewhere December 20, not December, January 2023 till now on the 2nd of November. So let's just take with this current date. It's fine on the release date. So on the release date, we can just it will just generate what we call a random date in this case, right? So have what that another column will be start date. So let's have start date and we say first one and date. Say sorry. Okay. Do something under here. So the starts are running and they're not supposed to run. So I should say release date. Release date. PD. PD means pandas, right? PD pandas to uh, date frame. PD2 date frame. Random dot choice and in the next column that we need to, so the first column is the artist column, the second one is song titles, then the third column it will be a column for release dates. So for us to sort out the release dates, we need to ensure that we have declared the start date and the end date. Understand? So this is how they actually create a range. It's actually a range. It's a range functionality on this one. Then thereafter, the last column that we need to create is called a, a popularity score. Popularity score. So, so one the most important thing that you need to note that is that I think it's actually in each and every programming language. Whatever variable that you are declaring, you need to ensure that doesn't have a space. It's either be separated by a what do you call an underscore. So correct. So it's always like that. So that's why all these uh, columns that I'm creating here, because these columns they are actually variables in terms of programming languages. So I need to ensure that when I declare them and initialize them, they follow all the programming procedures. So we'll do the popularity score. So on the popularity score, right, we'll just use a random uh, number. Yes, then.
Hi Karabo, are you still there? Karabo? Okay, it seems like Karabo is having a little bit of network connectivity issues. Okay. Well, I would take questions, but I have no idea of how to do data sets. But this is Karabo section. Guys, let's just give Karabo at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and then we can start enlisting questions in the chats while we're still waiting for Karawa, and I'll answer a few of those that I'm able to understand and comprehend. So yeah, as we're waiting for Karawa, anyone has Any question thus far? You could raise a hand. You could raise a hand, and then we can acknowledge you. Anyone? Is everyone up to date so far? Okay. Yes. The slides are available on Sonke. They've been shared in the hackathon wall. You'll find the slides that Kara was using are available on the on Sonke. And yes, the session is also recorded and live streamed for any of your team members that might have missed this session. It's available. It's available upon request. Anyone has any other questions? I'm still available for you guys.
Incoming call. I put it on screen. There is a call for you. Do you...
Okay, let's here. Let's do this. Yeah, sure. You can unmute. Yeah, Mleboreng, you can unmute and speak. Okay, I do believe so, but the section is actually covering how to put it. I do believe that the section is only covering the part of data science. I'm not sure about how far it ends, but I do understand that we are covering we are covering data science. So we'll be covering. Oh yeah. Yeah, we are only going to cover those two for today. Yeah. Tanash or Tanish?
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, so unfortunately, yeah, there are technical difficulties, but essentially the section was covering data analytics, just the generation of the data in our case. Of course, you can always download the data depending on what your intentions are. and essentially the analysis of the data. So checking what values are missing using like our imported libraries such as Panda, which allows us to do manipulation through tables as well as NumPy. And then once we clean the data, after analyzing what values are missing, if there are any outliers, whether the distribution of the data is um, suitable for analysis, once doing all that through cleaning and graphical analysis, the intention was to go forward and do predictions with that. So today was mainly covering the data analysis aspect, and then tomorrow would be a continuation going into using that now cleaned and analyzed data, and then selecting an appropriate machine learning model to then predict future values or whatever else we want to predict. So it's going to be a continuation tomorrow, essentially.
Okay. Since you're still here, I think you can take questions since we will be unable to proceed
Yes.
on your session. There is a question for you. It says, "Will we need to know how to draw insights from the data for the hackathon?"
Yes, so that's the whole purpose of the data analysis part. It's typically referred to as exploratory data analysis because you're investigating the data, the shape of the data, like whether the distribution is normal, like are the values evenly distributed, are they representative of the population. You check things such as are there any linear correlations between certain variables? What are the relationships like? And all this then leads to you selecting an appropriate machine learning model, or if you're not, let's say you're not even using it for prediction. The whole point of data is to make informed decisions. So you would need to draw insights, and we do that through the analysis. I hope that answered your question.
Recording is on.
Well, yeah, it seems like the person who asked is satisfied. Molebogeng, yes, you are free to unmute if you wanna ask. If you wanna do a direct ask, you can unmute and ask. Okay, well, we're still waiting for Molebogeng. Does anyone else have any other question before Mr. Karabo still continues to explain further? Anyone? Any takers? I do think and believe that Mr. Garao will be willing to clear out any part or point that you didn't get him or you didn't understand, or where he passed quicker than you could comprehend. I think he will be willing to go back if you had some part in which you did not understand. Okay, seems like we are all covered. Okay, the offer is going once, going twice, and we tapped. Mr. Garabo, if you still have any further points that you still wanna iron out, I do believe that the platform is still open. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Hello, now I'm just stating my availability to answer any question in Mr. Karabo's absence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if
Do you
anybody has questions.
will you be able to iron out his presentation wherever that he might have missed, or you think you can proceed further while we're still waiting for you?
Unfortunately, currently unable to do that. Having some technical difficulties here. Can give me. I can try. Can you please give me 5 minutes? Others will have to continue tomorrow. But let me just try and see if I can overcome this.
Okay. Yeah, to take your time as we are still. Yeah, we. I think we have the whole time. Yeah. Uh, okay. Okay. The topics that you are supposed to look into today. Okay. As the planning of Mr. Kara was to cover those two, which would be Panda and Namfi. So, as his unavailability and facing some other technical issues, maybe he might have had other further things to cover. But for now, I do understand that we only had those to cover. Okay. Anyone has any other question? Okay, we can even deviate from the topic where we're still waiting uh for Mr. Tanash. Any other question pertaining this datathon altogether? Any points that you'd like clear up, or any key features, or any information that you feel that you didn't receive? Okay, seems like everyone is actually on update. It's everyone seems like everyone is on Sonke and everyone is updated. Yeah, in a very, 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 very high note, you are advised to always on a daily basis to check your emails for any communications, to always be on Sonke if there's any updates. So keep checking on Sonke frequently and check your emails on a regularly so that you don't get left out. So I'm going to take that 5 minutes and give it to I'm going to give Mr. Tanasha that 5 minutes so that he can actually see if he can proceed with the lessons. So I am going to be quiet as we give Mr. Tanasha that 5 minutes, and then yeah, we'll proceed from there. I'll come back after 5 minutes, and then we'll proceed from there.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello, can you hear
hello.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, Mr. Karaba has been kind enough to share a notebook, so I will be able to complete the remainder of the analysis.
Okay.
Uh,
You can share your screen and take over.
okay, cool. Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello, can I please receive confirmation that people can see the screen? Okay, awesome. So I'll just be finishing up what Karabo started, just giving you essentially a high-level overview of what your final product should look like. So where we left off, as you remember, in this case, let me just run everything as I'm giving you a high-level overview. Um, just in the interest of time. Okay, so where we left off is we generated our data, as you can remember. And then the next step would be to, like I said, to analyze it. So one of the, I can say, functions that's useful in analyzing is what's known as head or dot head. It typically displays the first 5 values of a Panda data frame. So in this case, we can see what our data looks like. We have our artist, our song title, our release date, and our popularity score, right? As well as our indices column, right? Which starts at 0 and so forth, goes to 4, right? So one of the things we do look for in data is we check for any missing values, because what happens is some data is collected manually. Maybe people filling out forms, and maybe somewhere along the process there was a missing value, or a person chose to leave a particular point open. So if you're collecting demographic data, for example, so we typically use is now and some to check, okay, what is the missing data we've got? In our case, we've got no missing data, which won't always happen in practicality in real life. There's a very idealized data set that we've constructed here, but just to let you know. And then we also analyze the statistics using describe of the data. So how many values we have, the mean, which is like the average value calculated. You take all the values and divide it by the number of values, you get the average value. The standard deviation, how far the values deviate from the mean. The minimum value, the 25th percentile, which means 25% of the values, or 1/4 of the values fall below 28, 50% of the values fall below and above 59, and then there's the 75th percentile, and then the max. So why these values are important? So for example, let's say you were analyzing the age of the population. Let's say you're analyzing the age of the population, right? How to come in handy is you'd want values that that follow a Gaussian distribution. Like you wouldn't want like analyzing the age of the population and then you get your, for example, let's say you're focusing on the adult population. You'd want your minimum age to be somewhere around maybe 18, your max value, obviously to be some old person, 70 something, 80 something years old, and then a 50% value that makes sense, like maybe 35 years old. So if your 50th percentile value is like 18 years old and you're analyzing the adult population, it wouldn't make sense. How can half of the adults be below 18? Like your values must essentially make sense, which is the whole purpose of the exploratory data analysis part, right? And then here we can sort our values, assuming it's equal to false. So see, it is organizing the values going from the smallest to the largest. And then this was actually imported in the other notebook. You'll notice it was imported at the beginning. This is matplotlib. So that allows us to plot our values. So we can actually plot our values through 3 different, I can say, libraries. So matplotlib is the popular one. You can see we plotted our straight line graph. There's also Seaborn, which is used for statistical analysis. So you can plot things such as histograms and what are known as box plots or whisker plots, and I forget the name, count plots. Have to visualize them. And funny enough, pandas also allows you to actually plot, although it's typically for data manipulation. So in this case, we've plotted the number of songs versus the music release over time. So apologies, I have to call Cayman. And yeah, the number of songs released as the year goes on, which makes sense, it increases. But let's say we're dealing with different variables, right? In which case, for example, we're analyzing the housing prices versus the time period. Then we notice a trend where the housing prices go up as time goes on, right? And if we're getting, well, it wouldn't be this straight. If we're getting such a trend, we notice it's a linear correlation, which would then tell us if we would like to predict going forward, let's say in 2023, the housing price, we'd have to use the linear regression, right? So the library I mentioned earlier, which is Seaborn, it allows us to do things such as bar plots or count plots, and we can then visualize our data. Instead of having it in table form, we get visual interpretations and graphical interpretations of our data. So we're able to do things such as plotting line graphs, count plots, heat maps even, to analyze our data, right? And in doing that, we get an overview of the data, which then informs decisions. Like we notice trends, we can then derive insights from that. And then going forward with that, we're actually able to use that to make predictions by selecting an appropriate machine learning model. So that's essentially just a high-level overview of the data analysis part. Are there any questions? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're slow audible.
Yes, that was just a high-level overview of everything. So are there any questions that I can take? Hello? Are there any questions? Just to note, we will be going through some of these again because we're doing the machine learning aspects of this tomorrow. So we'll be making a
Hello.
prediction. Hello? Yes?
Hello.
Oh, yes? Uh, we can hear you.
Yeah, it seems like everyone today is having network issues. Okay. Okay. I see a hand first. Okay. Yeah. You. Whoosh, let me see. Yeah. You can speak, Mr. or Mrs. Oh yeah, Sister Mulebugeng.
Hi.
Yebo.
Lankutla.
Yeah, Rautla.
Okay. I think it's clarity, but also direction on our end. What we're trying to develop is an app that will be able to collect data within the circular economy, especially in the leather industry, and data on the amount of waste that is produced in different tanneries. Waste that is also collected by artists, crafters, to be specific, who are now doing new products, and to look at how much waste is produced over, say, example, 3 years back, and try to predict how much the amount of waste that is collected for craft products is able to reduce the amount of waste that is left over in the industry, in the environment, and somehow try to predict a pattern on the amount of waste that could be generated within the industry in the next coming 4 or 5 years, with the attempt of analyzing and using that data to inform government on what it needs to do specifically with the leather industry to reduce the amount of toxic waste that is left over in the industry. So, Mina, what I'm asking now is that with the analytics, which would be the best way to present it, in a graph, or would it be best to do it on Excel?
Hello. Thank you for the question. Can I please receive more clarity? What do you mean by best way when you said a graph or Excel?
No, I mean in presenting the data. After analyzing it, presentation yakhona, in which form is it supposed to be?
Okay, so that typically depends on who the end user is. So are you and your team analyzing the data amongst yourselves and then drawing insights which are you presenting it to management? Is it supposed to be something that's going to be facing a particular end user? Like, for example, is it going to be on a website somewhere, right?
Yes.
Is it going straight to government on a website somewhere? Hello?
We yes, we're going to be putting it up on our website.
So a good way to present website on a data would be something like sort of like an interactive uh, graph. Uh, Trying to think of the other word it's eluding me now. So there's no one set way to present this. So tomorrow we'll be covering Tableau, for example. So it's uh, a tool that allows you to plot visual data, right? So there are
Mm-hmm.
many ways to plot data. Like you can use Excel. You can use Tableau, which can connect to Excel to plot very beautiful graphs and visual presentations. Like if you want to plot like a map, for example, Tableau allows you to do that. You can also do that on Python using Plotly uh, and the various libraries. So you can do that on Python, Excel, Tableau, Power BI. You can build dashboards. Typically, if you're building dashboards, the best would be something like Power BI or Tableau, but Python does have a library for that. So it just depends which tool that you are most uh, comfortable with. And if you're presenting it on a website and an app, you ideally want some degree of interactivity. So you'd want to build like a dashboard. So Python, there are Python libraries that allow you to do that. You can do that on Tableau and Power BI. We will be covering Tableau tomorrow. As for I think you can do it on Excel, but I don't think it would be the best for that. So it just depends on what you in particular want to do. There's no like said this is the best way to the exclusion of others. It depends what tool you're most comfortable with, essentially.
All right, thank you.
Okay, hope you answered. Is one more question. It says, did you come up with the timeline? If so, how did you get it, or is it from the data? Gloria, I'm not sure who this question is actually addressed to. Gloria, can you clarify so who the question is addressed to, so we can, address it to the proper person?
Hello, I think I know what Gloria is asking. Uh,
Uh,
Basically, they're asking where did the timeline, the X variable, where did you get it from? So in this case, it was artificially generated through a function. Let me see if I can go back. Hold on. Can you see my screen again?
yes, yeah, your screen is visible, sir.
So in this case, this dot in particular was artificially generated. So we just made up the data. So as you remember at the beginning of the session, we're coming up with DJ names and then song titles. And then here's the function, just directing you. You can see here it's no longer highlight. But as you can see, it was generated artificially. So this function, you select a start and an end date, and then you generate a certain number of values between those particular dates. So maybe you might say 1st of January 2020, and then end date should be, I don't know, 2nd of February 2023, and then you select your frequency. In this case, you named it number of records, num records, it stands for number of records. And then you generate maybe 100 points, data points of dates between the 1st of January 2020 and the 2nd of February 2023. So it's a made up timeline essentially, just for the purpose of demonstration. I hope that answers Gloria's question.
Yes,
Did I
thank you.
interpret the
Okay.
question
Uh,
correctly?
Gloria, you can show by a thumbs up in the chats if you are answered. But I do think what you're explaining is a simulation of how to create a dummy data for prototyping an MVP.
Yes, yes, that's exactly that.
Okay. Let's go further. Anyone else has any other question or requires any clarity coming to anything? Anyone? Okay. Well, I'm going to do this the auction style. I'm just going to auction the question. Anyone has any question? It's going once and it's going twice. You can raise a hand to stop me from closing off the questions, or you can raise a thumb, or you can put it in the chat if you have any question, or you can unmute to ask a question. Okay, let's see by form of clarity. Is everyone cleared? If you are cleared with everything that was presented today, just do give a thumbs up in the chat so we can see that we are all cleared, and then we can be able to adjourn. Okay, that's good then. It seems like you're all cleared. Okay, tomorrow's session will be on data analytics and automation. Hopefully, tomorrow's session will be yeah, tomorrow's session will be more productive than today. It will be a continuation, so please be available for tomorrow. It's a continuation of what happened today. We are going to continue again with it tomorrow. So yeah, I do hope that the facilitators that were here will also be available here again tomorrow to clear up everything or to keep you up to date. So Mr. Tanashe, do you have anything to say before we close?
Uh, for now, no, I'd just like to thank everybody for making time to be here. I would say, with regards to the data for whatever solution you come up with, what's typically important is what's known as domain knowledge or expertise. So I would think very hard about, okay, if I want to predict something, what are the variables that would be important to uh, predicting that? So, for example, if I wanted to predict how many goals a soccer player is scoring, if I'm a soccer fan or soccer analyst or coach, I would know, okay, one of the things that would have an impact is maybe my team's possession or the number of shots a player takes, right? So you use that domain knowledge, like the person earlier was talking about ledger. So they would know what variables they're going to analyze and analyze the relationships between those, and then select the appropriate machine learning model. So I would just say that think carefully about what variables you'd like to incorporate within your analysis, as you'd understand your domain a bit better than the next person. And what is presented today here is just a general overview of how the data analysis process might work. But you still need to bring in your specific expertise of your domain.
Okay,
Yeah, that
thank
is.
you, sir. Thank you very much for the parting words. Hope everyone uh, took that took that very seriously. Okay, for on my behalf for closing, I would like to actually give you the few parting words of uh, when you are analyzing your data and doing all of your predictions and all of what you're going to be doing with your data and your presentation and everything, please do put into consideration of your presentation worth the winning prize because of we do things, we do presentations and we do projects, but we are not considered if they're actually in line with what it's required of us from from the competition or the program that we are in. So ask everyone to do with caution. Please do check the judging criteria. Do check the competition criteria. Do have or do follow up on relevant information that your program be in line with what's required. Your program might be a wow factor, but if it's not in line with what's required of it, it will probably not go. It will probably be a wow factor that's not in line with what's required. So, with that being said, I would like to thank everyone who have made it through for today's session. Hope to see you again on tomorrow's session. And yeah, tomorrow will be. I do believe that tomorrow will be the last session for the week, and then yeah, we'll be preparing to see you again on. We'll be preparing to see you again in Pretoria. So do check your emails. Do check up us on us on Sonke. Follow up on every information necessary and relevant. Yeah, we'll see you there. Hope you win. Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to give anyone who would like to say bye. Yeah, the platform is open. You can say your goodbyes.
Recording has stopped.
Yeah, to Misani, yeah, you can unmute and speak, sir.
Can you guys hear me?
To Misani, you can unmute.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. Evening, everyone. I thought I should just share because I think today's session was really something which is interesting, and I want to share with everyone just like an intro on data science and data analytics. So I created a GitHub repo just for a basic, simple intro project that I think everyone who's starting on data analysis and data science might find it like really interesting. So I'll just share the link on the chat and you guys will check it out. Thanks.
You can share it with me on Songcare, then I'll share it. I'll share it to everyone on Songcare because of here it will disappear again.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay,
Sure, sure.
thanks. Anyone has any other thing?